All right. Welcome to another special edition of the Dan and Dan Show. We should have
And
worn
Josh.
only Dan's shirts.
I feel left out. I should have changed my name.
Well, it's a very exclusive club, Josh.
I apologize for being named the wrong thing.
The next time you'll get it right.
Should put history in the middle so you could be a Dan sandwich.
I think I can do that. Hang on.
All right, center stage.
This is very important that we get this right now.
I did not expect to be a Dan sandwich. Ooh, now there's two.
There you go. There goes two of you.
There's two.
And now you're Dan Sandwich.
It was almost the
welcome.
Josh and Josh show.
Josh. So, all right. So we're here with Josh Hohnstein, who is the 210 champ of the Porsche Cup at the F1-RCFIA Series, Race 1, Sao Paulo and Silverstone. And so we wanted to get all your secrets from you, Josh, and and then we'll never release this and just keep all your secrets between Dan and I and try and catch up to you.
Easy enough, sure.
Taking notes.
Yeah, right. No, we wanted to find out a little bit more about you and actually ask you about some of your speed secret stuff. But so you've been racing a long time. I know you were talking to me last race about getting your butt kicked by Paul Lemieux and learning from him, but I don't really know like that much about you. Like, how long have you been racing? I know you're sponsored by Team Associated, so nice job repping the shirt.
I try. Put on a clean shirt. Didn't spill anything on it today. Let's see. I walked into trackside in 1999. I think it was. It was strictly a carpet track. That was the peak of touring cars, so they had just gigantic turnouts all the time.
What's gigantic turnouts? What does that mean? How many?
A Sunday would have 100 entries.
Wow. So like 50 to 75 drivers.
Yeah.
There'll be like a F or G main.
Yes. Yeah, stock went back to literally an F or a G just on a regular Sunday, on a Sunday.
How many classes were there? You remember?
Oh, so back then they ran stock touring, mod touring. To me, a mini was a big thing.
Did you guys have 19 turn? Or
not at the time? No, it was stock and mod way back when I started. So to me, a mini. I'm trying to think if there was an F1 sometimes. Otherwise, there weren't that many classes. Just a ton of people. So Paul Lemieux was a little chubby 13-year-old kid back then, kicking everybody's butt, which I think made it worse than, adult Paul Lemieux kicking everybody's butt.
Yeah.
So yeah, ever since then, I mean, I'm a touring car racer. There's been times where I've been stuck racing off-road as a touring car racer.
Yeah.
Just because off-road seems to, it kind of took over a few years ago.
I've heard you're quite good at off-road as well, and obviously being sponsored by Team Associated, they're primarily off-road, but now they have their new TC8, which is pretty sweet. So
they do, and I ran for Team Associated from like 2008 or 2009 to 2012 or 13, back when they had a really decent on-road program. Okay. It just kind of fell by the wayside because off-road took over, and they didn't feel the need to invest into on-road. Which, I mean, as a business decision, yeah, that's probably what I would have done also.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does make sense. But I guess for me, when I'm an on-road guy and I own the track, we're just going to make it on-road.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did, because I get to be an on-road guy again, and then Associated coming out with their TC8, and fingers crossed, some other on-road platforms. I'm excited.
Some top secret stuff you can't share here, right?
No, even if I knew, I couldn't share it, but I can honestly say I don't know.
Okay.
I know there's stuff in the works.
That's hoping
good. What some of it is. I'm hoping to be part of the F1 portion of the races at some point.
Okay, so let's just say in theory that they did, because they Did they re-release an F1? Yeah, they did. It's got
Yeah, the
Their older car,
F6.
the F6, I think it was. Yeah.
yeah. But let's just say they were working on a new chassis. Would you pick that up? Would you run it with us?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
If they were.
sweet. That's
All right,
awesome.
you're hearing this, team associated. Just got to pump one out.
That's right. So you started in 1999 and at Trackside, and you're from
At Trackside,
McWanago.
yeah.
At least,
McWanago, yeah. I lived in New Berlin at the time. Waukesha at the time, maybe.
okay.
So
Were you
the
ever like
general vicinity.
full-time RC? I don't actually know. I know there's guys that are full-time, but I don't know how hard that is or how often that would happen.
No. I mean, it was easier back in the day to be an on-road full-time guy, but I don't think I ever had that talent or ability to commit the amount of time to get the results that those guys got.
Okay.
So I was just at the time a 20-something-year-old who was looking for something to do, get out my competitive juices, and I mean, from having RC cars when I was a kid, it was the logical thing for me to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And we need more 20-somethings jumping into it, which we're hoping to do here. Um,
Yeah,
I
there's a
guess when I
few, not as many as in the off-road side of things, but hopefully it makes a turnaround.
well, I have a theory. I when I first started the track, I really wanted kids to come around and hopefully start getting more kids into RC. Um, just because I thought that would be a great thing, a great environment, but also great for the hobby and better for them rather than, sitting on computer games and stuff like that. And it was kind of tough, but I wasn't doing a broad reach, right? I'm just asking my friends and to bring their kids and they were kind of interested and they would kind of play around with them and stuff. But the kids, I think, would get frustrated with it because it was harder to drive than what their video games were like. And then when they crash and break something, you can't hit reset. You have to like work on your car and spend some money. So, but yet there are some kids. There are kids that are or younger kids, I should say, maybe younger adults that are getting into on-road RC. And it seems like when you just kind of make a great program, and get enough exposure, I'm hoping that eventually we will get a younger crowd here to jump in, especially if we
I think you
continue
will.
to create like a friendly, everyone kind of helps each other out kind of a environment. That's my theory. I don't know. We'll see if it works, Josh. We'll check in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, you guys do a great job of the friendly atmosphere and helping each other out.
Appreciate that. I learned a ton about F1 from Dan, probably 80% of my knowledge from him. So I'm just trying to pass it on.
And now, and now Dan is faster than me, so
Dan's going to be the godfather of
damn
F1.
these
We should start.
young rookies.
Yeah. Yeah, right. All right, I had some
Well, I'm not
notes.
sure
That's
I
why I
want
keep
any
looking at
part
my
of.
phone just to know what is coming up. So I wanted to talk to you, Josh, about your chassis. So you're driving a TC8 primarily in Porsche Cup, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I remember when that first came out, you were not sure. Is that the right word to use? About the chassis?
Skeptical.
Um, well, I mean, Associated jumping back in, it's not like X-Ray where they've refined their
Yeah.
last 10 years worth of cars or anything. So I definitely was excited to get my hands on it because on paper it looked incredible. You just, on paper and on the track are two different things. Luckily on the track, I've been nothing but impressed with this car. It is absolutely exceeded my expectations 100%.
I saw when you first brought it out to the track, you're running it in modified configuration, and it looks like any other prior car you ran before. It was just spot on and looking good through the corners, just fast overall.
Yeah, it did nothing stupid, nothing silly, nothing crazy. It was just a super solid platform from the beginning. And it's got a lot of pace on the track. I think it's got a lot of pace on the track.
Yeah, it's watching you drive it. It's tempted me to put one together, but I haven't had the time to barely work on any of my existing cars. So trying to keep up with the series.
Yeah, you got your hands full.
Yeah, but yeah,
I drove Ben Kaminsky's TC8 in 21.5, and I thought it handled pretty good. Like, I'm trying to downsize on cars, not buy more. So
yeah.
it's tempting though.
That's crazy talk. Just keep going.
Well, that steel chassis, it's pretty cool that they came out with that as like that's the kit option. I mean, one of the options, right?
Yeah, it's that or a carbon chassis. And as far as I know, I think Associated's the only company that comes with a steel chassis. I think it's an option for a couple other manufacturers.
Yeah, is X-Ray with the 26? Are they offering that as an option?
It's just 1.5 aluminum, the 2 millimeter, and then the carbon.
So yeah, that is unique, and it's an impressive car. We've tried to stock parts for it here and keep the basics around at least, and I'm hoping more and more people will get. I think we'll have 4,
5, maybe.
including you. 4, maybe 5. Yeah, I think that's right. So hopefully that number continues to grow, and we can support
We'll
them
pump those numbers up
in their ventures back into the touring car world. So hopefully that's they're a big company, I know, so that would be good to see them grow. Are you doing anything like? All right, you ran it in mod and then you switched it over to Porsche, which you were probably running a 6 or 7 turn in mod, and then Porsche is a 25.5 motor, right?
25.5. Yeah. I went from a 6.0 to a 25.5, so a little less power.
Yeah.
A lot less power.
Well, I'm curious, what were the main things that you did change in the chassis when you did that? Like even before you got to the track, some of the things that you knew you were going to need to do.
So I had huge concerns with putting the heavier Porsche body on. I think the Porsche body race ready is 104, maybe 110 grams, whereas a touring car body race ready, paint and wing and everything is 55 to 65.
Yeah.
So that is a
Wow.
lot of weight up high. So I had some major concerns about that. It turns out I shouldn't have had any concerns whatsoever. It ran perfectly going from the touring car setup to the Porsche setup. Dropping the motor, putting on the heavier body. There were really no changes that I had to make. I just proceeded to try, 75 other things like I do every time that I'm at the track, trying to learn and figure stuff out and see if I can get the car a little bit better.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing that I needed to do. It ran pretty well just in the same configuration, setup wise.
Well, I noticed when you got here on Friday and you put it on the track, you were instantly fast. And then something that's always impressed me about your like pre-race routine is you get out there, you try something new, you try some configuration in your ESC or something with your setup or something like that. You run a half a dozen laps, you jump off, go try the next thing, get right back out there. You don't waste a lot of time, I should say. It's almost like you're disciplined with that. But after once you got out here and you were like instantly fast, and I would kind of pay attention once in a while, see your lap times and stuff like that, and I was like, he's still fast, still way faster than everybody else, but I didn't see any big jumps. Like, oh, all of a sudden Josh is 0.3 faster or something like that. Were there any big things that you did do and I just didn't catch, because I had 1,800 other things I was trying to do?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. The majority of the changes don't make the car faster. They just make it easier to drive in places, sometimes harder to drive in places.
Yep.
There were a couple turns like on that last layout, the full speed right-hander right in front of the driver's stand. That was a real rough one to get used to, and you needed your car to do certain things through there in order to, have confidence in it.
Yeah.
So I was making changes trying to get the car to feel a certain way. Not necessarily going for some crazy lap times, but just going for consistency. Knowing that we had what was it, an 8 minute main, 10-minute main?
Yeah. I was watching the A main, and your car just looked super consistent lap to lap. Uh, while you're setting up cars initially, what's kind of the sequence? Do you go look at changes to alignment first, or are you looking at springs or flex?
I guess it depends what I'm trying to get out of the car. I'll check the spring rate. I'll see if the chassis is dragging at all. If I'm not getting any rubber buildup on the bottom of the chassis, then the car is definitely too stiff. I want it to definitely get down in the track and be rubbing the carpet in some of the turns down there. Um, as far as flex goes, I actually use flex a lot. I'll run the carbon top decks on the car, the fiberglass top decks on the car instead of the carbon fiber top
Okay.
decks. And I will flip flop. I'll see what the fiberglass in the front does versus fiberglass in the back, and just kind of go for the feeling when it comes to flex like that. So generally, softer in the front makes the car easier to drive. It's also going to give it a little more steering in places, but it's not going to react as quickly. So it all depends on how I feel my car is around the track and what I'm looking for. I don't really have like a checklist of, here's the number one thing that I do or the number two thing that I do.
Sure.
Sometimes I just throw stuff at the wall and see if it sticks to.
But is
I
there
wish I
a
had a better answer.
No, those are good tips and good feedback. Yeah.
yeah? There's got to be. Well, first off, you use the fiberglass top deck is more flexible than the carbon fiber, right?
Yes,
And our track, I would say, is. I mean, I always tell people we're like a medium grip on a race day.
I would
We're
agree
not
with
like
that. Yep.
okay. So having something with a little bit more flex is good. I mean, that's what you're gonna want.
Yep, it's going to aid in traction. It's going to make things a little easier to drive, a little
Yeah.
more forgiving.
What are the first things you go through though when you get to a new track and you're trying to figure it out? You're trying to figure out grip levels and set your car up. What are the first things that you're going to be testing though to see? Is it the top decks? Is it gearing? Is it ESC settings?
Yeah, if I'm going to a new track, a lot of times, as long as I know I have a good balanced setup on the car going in there, I'll give the track a little bit of time to kind of to run in. Most of the time, it's a new layout when you go to a new place, um, and it doesn't actually build the traction until a day into practice, 2 days into practice.
Yeah.
So I try to not go crazy as long as I know I have a good balanced setup on the car. If it's balanced on lower bite, it should remain balanced on higher bite, meaning the front's not going to bite too much, the rear's not going to bite too much. If you've got a little push on low bite, you're going to have a big push on high bite. It's whatever the balance is on the car, it's going to remain that way for the most part as grip comes up. So I try to not do anything crazy, make any wholesale changes.
Yeah.
Um, a looser track, I will definitely add a little rear toe to the car. That's going to give it more rear bite, more forward drive, pretty much lock the back end in.
Like 3.5. You ever go that high?
Yeah, in mod, I would bounce between 3 and 3.5. In stock, I would bounce between 2.5 and 3,
Okay.
somewhere around
Okay.
there. I know there's
Yeah.
crazy guys out there running 1.5 and all kinds of stuff, but I
Really?
can't make my stuff work like that. Yeah.
That'd be nuts. I don't think that would be fun.
Yeah. So I'd say rear toe is definitely the first adjustment for lower bite, new tracks, stuff along those lines.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, especially in F1, I'm getting confident enough in my setup where it's like like you, I don't make a bunch of changes early in the day or right away. These new Accelerate tires that still call them new, but they've been out for a little while. But um, they're so soft that it doesn't take too long until you can get a good idea on what your car is going to do. Where I think with the older tires, they were more susceptible to the lower traction. Dan, would you say that's accurate, Dan? You have more experience with the other brands.
Yeah. Also finding the accelerate tires, they're, much more reactive in the steering. And it's crazy too how much sauce influences F1 handling and steering versus just normal touring car tires.
Yeah, getting that right is huge.
And you guys are still gluing those fronts like crazy, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Even how high and how much you glue impacts a lot of the steering too.
yeah. If you don't, which I used to like to try to not get away with not gluing the front tires because I like a lot of steering. But with these tires, it's just stupid to even try because um, you're going to be oversteering and losing time in every corner. Then even if with these cars, they're such low CG nowadays that we don't actually, or at least I don't really deal with traction roll much anymore. You just deal with oversteer, and obviously you're losing time every time we do that. Actually, I think we talked about that even in Porsche, where you're constantly trying to find that balance of like hitting the corner and not doing this, but rolling through as fast as you can while still maintaining and not doing any wheel spin, and even out of the corner too, right, Josh? Like,
Yeah, you don't want to have too much scrub in your car.
yeah,
Um, I drive a lot of other people's cars just, for the
yep,
sake of trying to help people out and driving their cars. There's so many times where I grab somebody's car and it steers way too much. They have too much dual rate in the car. It'll do a 18-inch circle or 20-inch circle out on the track, whereas my stuff is usually doing a 3-foot circle out on the track. And people confuse a car feeling like it turns with a car actually turning. All you're really doing is making the car twitch and scrub speed and do really, really weird stuff. But it's got that crazy feeling of, holy cow, this car turns a lot. But it actually doesn't. It's just harder to drive than it should be, and you're
yeah.
scrubbing speed.
Does that come with experience and just? I mean, I
Oh yeah.
remember Vu taught me something. He said he'll play with dual rate a ton while he's practicing. He will figure out his fast lap with a higher dual rate and then keep turning his dual rate down as much as he can to find that spot where he can still hit that fast lap or at least close
Hmm.
to it, but with a lower dual rate, and then it'll end up being way easier to drive and be more consistent then. Is it the
Yep.
same
You're
in
not
touring
scrubbing
car?
speed in the corners. You're not
Yeah,
overheating your tires.
yeah, yeah. No, that was a game changer for me when he taught me that. So that was huge. Um, okay, I know you. I think you built an MTC3 for a buddy, right?
Yep. I built Brian's Mugen car over the weekend. He asked me to build it for him, and
Okay,
I love touring cars. I love seeing all the technology. Um, and I love being able to put a car together, measure it, and see what's different on that car than what I've got going on my car.
okay.
So yeah, I built it for him, and I ran a couple packs and tried to tune on it a little bit.
So that's the new Mugen. What did you think of that
Yes,
one, and then compare it, and then compare it to the TC8?
from a speed standpoint, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that almost every new car out there is going to run the same speed, as long as you get a decent setup on it. Like I didn't drop that car on the track, Brian's car on the track, and go faster than I went with my car. But in the same sense, I didn't go much faster with my car than I went with his car. Um, there's there's pluses and minuses to every brand out there, and I know I'm supposed to say, hey, Associated's the only car, and
Yeah,
everybody buy one and all that stuff. But I mean, it's a choice. Everybody likes running different stuff, and um, yeah, yeah. The Mugen was it was a neat car. I will say it has twice as many parts as the Associated.
mm,
Mm.
It took a long
Oh,
time to build. There is, as far as one car being easier to work on than the other, I would say the Associated is 10 times easier to work on than what the Mugen is.
I think because the Mugen, it doesn't use shims. I guess you could level things up or down, left and right.
It doesn't use shims. It is full of the tiniest little eclipse you've ever seen in your life.
Oh boy, I'm out.
Just
I'm
with
out.
the
Look at
position
the
of the
size of
All
his
shock
right.
and
hands,
how to
man.
adjust stuff.
No way that'll work.
Yeah. The position of the shocks and getting to stuff is kind of a pain compared to the Associated. It definitely, building that car definitely made me appreciate how easy the Associated is to work on.
Mm.
And at the same
It's
time, I feel like the Associated has more tuning options than what the Mugen had. It's kind of crazy that both
really,
things are true. Yeah.
huh? I'd love to see the TC8 in some of the big races. Like I don't know that there are any. Is there a big name in the mod touring car? Like there's
Maybe not on the international level.
right. That's
No, not
Yeah,
even. And I don't know if they have plans of trying to recruit one of the top tier drivers.
I wish they would.
They've got Kyle Klingforth is one of their engineers, and he was really, really fast. But obviously, he doesn't get to spend as much time racing now that he's an engineer as he did when he was, just a young high school kid.
Yeah.
Associated's got Rick Howard, who is he's one of the old timers. He's been around for a long time, and I'd say he's more of an asphalt specialist.
Okay.
Other than that, there's a couple mid tier guys floating around, but they have no big name guys, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate because I think they actually have the car that can go out and get them results.
Yeah. It'd be so cool to see that compared to all the other big names in Mugen and the X-Ray Automatics. It'd just be fun to see how it could do. Schumacher.
I
Yeah, I would
remember.
love to see it in the hands of a world class driver
Right.
instead of just a Joe Schmo like me.
Oh, you're
I think I
world class,
remember.
Josh. Come on.
I remember back in the TC7. I think Ryan Cavalieri had a stab at on road for a little bit.
He did, yeah.
Mhm.
Joe Pillars, or not? Was it Joe Pillars or Randy? Um, One of those guys was working on his car, building his car, and he won a couple of the Asphalt Nationals. So Cavalieri is back to running an associated car that One Up is building. I think Randy Castor's taking care of his cars now. Um, I don't know how much effort he's putting in as far as wanting to get touring car results, but he's probably one of the top tier guys that are running the platform right now.
He's in California, right?
Yes.
Is he running the One Up series out there? I thought I saw his
Um,
name.
I don't know. I would think he's been to one or two of them. I thought I saw their last race. The turnout was a little light
Yeah.
as far as the modified guys.
He still might be concentrating more so on off road side, but who knows?
Yeah, there's so many big off road races all the time that I'm sure he's got something coming up.
What's your take on why is off road taken off while on road is suffered?